Hey Leo, welcome to your weekly forecast for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and yes, of course, Venus. I know some of you like to check your Venus sign when it comes to love. This applies to Venus as well. If you're not a Leo and you're just some sneaky little Pete, some sneaky little imposter checking up on a Leo, you're welcome to stay. You're welcome to watch the video, but keep in mind that I do specific cross-watcher videos specifically for those of you who are checking in on a specific sign. So the ones for August are already done, obviously. The ones for September are going to be up the next couple of days. So keep an eye out for those of you who are interested to watch for a different sign other than yours. Okay, my dear. And of course, if you hit subscribe and notification, you'll get a notice when those are up. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and my dears, after we look at these cards, I've got a beautiful new deck here that we're going to pull a love message for you after. So stick around for that. Leo, here's some nice fire energy. You know, this is very Leo-esque. You know, you got the sun, you got the fire here. So this is telling us that you're really coming into the positive elements of being a fire sign. Okay? Really positive elements of being a fire sign. Another thing that I'm going to go ahead and say here, my dears, those of you who watch my videos, you know and you hear me say that when I have a major arcana card come up in a reading where I'm reading a situation between people, it tells me that you all are in a situation where you were meant to meet, that you all have a soul contract, that you have agreed to meet in this lifetime for a very specific reason. Now, when I look at what the major arcana card is, it gives me a sense and a feeling of what that contract is. And so here what I'm seeing is the sun card. It would be about true love. It would be about a soulmate that has to do with a person that you can connect with to have fun, maybe even travel, you know, explore, see the world, that whole kind of thing. It's also, to me, the opposite of a codependent relationship because there's a lot of freedom that comes in with the sun card kind of love. You're free to be yourself. You're free to express yourself. You're free to live life as who you are and to be seen and loved and appreciated for who you are, as opposed to trying to edit yourself or, you know, fit yourself into somebody else's, you know, narrative or into what works for them. Okay. And it could be that maybe, Leo, some of you have also had a very hard time finding a person that vibed with your goals and what you're trying to do in your life right now. And so I do feel there's somebody coming in that's like really kind of melding or meshing with that really well. Those of you who are in an existing relationship, then this would say that you can expect for your relationship to see better, happier times. If there has been something that you feel has been kept or revealed from you, it's safe to say in September, potentially, possibly early in September, this will come to light. This will be revealed. This will be shown. But it's not coming up like in a tower kind of way. So I feel that it's coming up in a way where there's an opportunity to do something about it, to come towards it from a place of healing and a place of, okay, well, what can we do to move forward? Or why was this hidden from me? Where is it that you might be hurting? Where is it that I might be hurting? So it feels to me, again, like it's an opportunity to be close, to have growth, to have this joyous kind of energy. The next card here is Eight of Cups. Now, this is really interesting, Leo. This is really interesting. And some of you aren't going to like to hear this, but I'm sorry. If it's coming up, it needs to be said. And if it makes you cringe and if you don't like it, then it's probably for you, okay? Or it may resonate. You might be like, oh yeah, I'm all about it. Awesome. But if it especially makes you cringe, then I'm sorry to say it's probably for you. Some of you have not been feeling fulfilled in love. Maybe you have had no shortages of opportunities. You've had chances of relationships, and you've had relationships that, like, on paper, they're amazing, they're great, and you're like, I should be happy, but I'm not happy. Like, okay, maybe this person isn't my soulmate. I gotta find another person. Well, no, nope, 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 nope. That Sun card is coming in and revealing you a truth that you are in this Eight of Cups moment. For me, in my readings, when Eight of Cups comes up, it's usually for somebody who's a high achiever. They set a lot of goals for themselves, and they don't rest until those goals are met and accomplished. And they will check everything off, you know, goal met, goal met, goal met. And so maybe some of you, you're very accomplished in your life, or you set a lot of goals for yourselves and you reached them and you weren't feeling fulfilled. So you said, okay, maybe I'm putting way too much emphasis on other parts of my life. Maybe the meaning of life here, happiness, I'm going to find it in my love life. I'm going to find my soulmate. We're going to connect happily ever after, you know, the end, you know, beautiful, right off into the sunset. And it's just not happening. You're not feeling that. You're not getting that. And so you're like, well, maybe I don't have a true love. Maybe I'm not meant for a true love. Or maybe this person isn't my true love. Eight of Cups is saying that you achieved meeting a soulmate. You're with a soulmate. You're with a soulmate. The problem is that missing cup, because Eight of Cups is like, okay, there's a missing cup, not sure what it is, you know, and you're just like, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, and you're constantly searching, you're constantly setting the next goal. Spoiler alert, the missing cup is your spiritual connection. So until that is made, no relationship is going to fill you up. No job, no income, no car, no trip, no this, no that, no X amount social media followers. None of it's going to fill it up until you reach that connection spiritually. Now, relax, okay? I'm not saying that it has to be this big complex thing. There's things that you can start doing now that are going to help with it. And as you're doing it, your love life is going to improve. Okay, that full moon is jumping out at me. By the next full moon, you are going to be in a completely different place, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You're going to be in a lot deeper place, and everything is going to be clear to you. I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I see this before? Here's what's been holding me back in my love life, or here's why I haven't felt the full satisfaction I've been wanting to feel. It's all going to be in front of you. You know, you don't have to like go and be a monk. You don't have to meditate for, 2 hours a day. You don't have to go do yoga every single week. You don't have to go to church every single Sunday, unless that resonates with you. If that resonates you, and if that's where you feel your spiritual connection, then do it. But that doesn't resonate with everybody. I can tell you from my own experience as somebody growing up, we went to church 3 times a week. Plus, once a week, I had a Bible teacher that came to my house and studied the Bible with me. And I thought I had a spiritual connection, but I didn't find God for me until I was almost 30 years old. And that was a while ago. And I found God in a swimming pool, of all places. I found God when I started going swimming regularly. That's where I made my spiritual connection. I made my connection in that water. That water became a very soothing, relaxing, zenful place for me. I could go there at the end of the day or start the day and, do a few laps of swimming in the pool. And it became a meditation without me realizing it. And it was there that I made my spiritual connection. Okay, so it doesn't have to be something very like kooky or very out there. You don't have to go get a bunch of crystals and a bunch of incense unless that resonates with you. But think about where your Zen place is and spend more time in that Zen place, because that's where you're going to start getting the fulfillment to where the rest of your life starts to feel a lot more fulfilling. Okay, so Leo, I'm sorry to say, some of you may have been a little too critical of a partner or a love interest for not doing it for you, when there's just something here that you're being encouraged to find for yourself. Your next card here is the devil. Leo. So some of you are having a very, very, very intense temptation. Okay. You're feeling tempted away from this happy love, right? You're in this Eight of Cups, like, I don't know. And Spirit's like, well, you've already got your Sun card. But then you're in the Eight of Cups, like, I don't know, maybe this isn't my soulmate, something's missing here. And who shows up? The devil shows up. Oh, I have something wonderful for you, Leo. And that temptation just is off the charts. With that devil card, sometimes it can be a very, 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 very strong physical connection where the physical intimacy or what happens in bed is so insanely intense. You're like, this is love. This must be love. But in my experience, I'm sorry to say, the devil card comes up in a situation where you're dealing with a karmic partner who is feeding off of your energy, right? And that's one of the ways in which they're tapping into you and into your energy is through the physical, physical intimacy. So be cautious. I do feel some of you have a karmic person who's returning. They might see that you've moved on. They might see that you're having this great life, and they may be coming to you in a moment of weakness where you're having some doubts, where you're like, maybe this isn't the one. And they're coming to you in that moment of weakness. But, we'll say this. Even if you don't have the Sun card, even if the current one you decide at some point is not the one, there's no benefit in jumping off with the devil, okay? For other ones of you, this could be different. This could be, and again, oh gosh, this would be if you're dealing sometimes with a Capricorn, but not all of you are dealing with a Capricorn. And the devil card represents the Capricorn, not because Capricorns are bad. Capricorns aren't bad. Capricorns aren't evil. Capricorns aren't the devil. I'm sure some Capricorns are, right? As are some Leos and some Libras and some Scorpios and some, there's good and bad in all signs. But the reason why the devil card symbolizes Capricorn is the physical, the physical realm or the physical world. And Capricorns are very much about that physical security. And Capricorns like to, like to be in that realm, in that earth energy realm. So they're represented by that card, but it doesn't mean that they're evil. Some of you could be dealing with a Capricorn. Okay, and there could be a significant love connection that you're working on and that you're trying to get out, like improve or grow. This could also be the negative ego coming in for some of you that's just telling you that you're never going to be happy, that whoever's coming into your life, it's too good to be true, nothing's ever going to work out for you. So it could be a very discouraging voice for some of you that's just really kind of plaguing you and making you feel like you should just give up on love or you should give up on relationships. And my experience has been that voice is the loudest and the most persistent just before a massive breakthrough. Okay, so I really do feel, Leo, love is coming. And Spirit is saying, do not give up. Do not give up. Love is coming. But that negative ego knows you're so close to it and doesn't like the changes that are going to happen because negative ego is afraid of change. And it will just do everything it can to convince you to shut yourself off and give up so that you don't receive that blessing, so that you don't receive that benefit. So if you're experiencing that, the negative self-talk, the defeated feelings, you have to tell that voice to shut up. And you have to just be like, you know what? I choose not to believe that. That's not the truth. And I'm choosing to align with love, and I'm choosing to speak to myself in a loving way. And know that that discouragement is the loudest just before the breakthrough happens. So it's a desperate attempt to get in your way. Be aware of that, Leo. Next we have the High Priestess. And you know what's funny? This is really funny to me, Leo. This came up for Capricorn. So I would not be surprised if some of you watching have Capricorn in your chart. I really would not be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if you're a Capricorn with a Leo in your moon, rising, or Venus that's watching this. Or if you are a Leo with Capricorn in your moon, rising, or Venus. But this is a very strong message. The High Priestess card is a card that comes up. You have to be careful, Leo. I feel that you already have something good in your life, a good solid relationship, and something karmic may be coming in to take you away from it. And this is where you need to be cautious. The High Priestess card for me comes up at a time when you are experiencing a very massive soul clearing. You're experiencing a very massive chakra clearing, chakras aligning, connecting with your higher self, connecting with your intuition. And as those chakras are clearing, something very powerful happens in the root chakra. And so you begin giving off this very irresistible vibe. You start giving off this very irresistible energy. And in the beginning, it might just be like, oh, people are being very friendly to you or very talkative to you in the grocery store or on the bus or whatever it might be. People just might be a lot nicer to you or gravitating towards you. But then you're going to begin seeing also that there's people that are very persistently pursuing you for a relationship or like to get you into bed. Okay, very, very persistently. And it's very easy to confuse that persistence with like, wow, this person must really love me, or this person must really be ready to be with me because they're after me so hard. They are just, they just cannot wait to get some Leo, and they are just doing whatever they need to do, to get some Leo. They must really be into me. They must really, really be ready for this. No. What is happening is, because you're connecting with this really high spiritual level and you're connecting with this really sexy inner energy, you are coming into a healer energy, somebody who's very healing on a spiritual level, somebody who's even very healing with your physical touch and you don't even know it. And so these people, like, they become obsessed with you because they're broken, they're hurting. They just see you as this delicious, connection that they have to have. It's like you're a candle in a dark room and they're the moths and they're rushing at your light, but they don't fully understand what it is. They don't understand that if they get too close, they can get burned. They don't understand that this might end badly. They're just magnetically drawn to you and they cannot help it. Even if it's going to end in disaster, they cannot help it. The thing I always say about the High Priestess is that you're like this magical mermaid to them, right? So it's like if a sailor was out at sea and he saw this beautiful mermaid, even if he was able to catch up to her and throw down the anchor, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna live his life out at sea for the rest of his life to be near her? Is he gonna scoop her up and take her back to land and throw her in a giant fish tank and hope she's happy there? And then when it comes time to go hang out with his friends, scoop her out of the fish tank or wheel that fish tank, on a little wagon to go hang out with friends or to go to Thanksgiving dinner with family or like whatever? Like, how does he go to be with the mermaid and her family and her friends? How do they make it work? How do they make it work on an everyday basis? The connection may be extreme. The attraction may be intense. The connection may be magical. But how do you marry the two worlds into everyday life? That is the issue with the High Priestess. And so some of you are in danger of walking away from a very stable or worthwhile relationship because of some karmic connection or some really intense, sexual energy here that later on you may regret. So some of you need to be cautious in that way. For other ones of you, those of you who were just very blocked in love for a very long time, you're getting unblocked and you're going to have opportunities coming in. And boy, oh boy, are opportunities going to be coming in. But it's up to you to be in that High Priestess energy, to use your intuition and to know who really is ready to handle you and who is not ready to handle you. who's the moth rushing at the flame that's going to end up ending in disaster? And who is the one who is like an energetic match for you, who is on your level? If you're having difficulty perceiving this or figuring this out, you can ask Archangel Michael to come in and help you and filter who's coming in. You can also ask your angels and guides to help you see, to make you wiser, to give you the sight and the ability to know, who is not right for you, or who is not ready for you, or who is not prepared to step into this relationship with what you need from them. Okay? So just kind of a heads up. Your next card, Leo, is the Empress. I love this. You are taking your power. You are taking your power. So something very magical is happening here. The Empress is a very powerful card. It's also very loving, very nurturing, very sensual, very much a card of creation. There could be something here in terms of, settling down, in terms of like family or, having children. The Empress can sometimes signify pregnancies and motherhood. So some of you may be preparing for that next step, and you may finally be aligning with that energy in your life. You might be going through some things in September where there's some karmic stuff that's clearing, but ultimately you're headed towards this stability and this control and this, rulership over your own destiny, really. And for some of you, like I said, it could result in physical children, things of that nature. Other ones of you are just really coming into your fulfillment, your confidence, to where you have this wonderful relationship, but nothing feels missing anymore, because that missing bit was you being in your connection. But you're in your connection, so there's nothing missing now. The relationship is good. The relationship is solid. And also, if any of you have ever felt inferior in any way, the Empress is a card that, she's the highest, above any woman on earth. She's above the queens even, right? She's higher ranking than the queens. She answers to no one but God. She answers to no one but the heavens. So either if you are female or identify as female, you are coming into this energy. If you are someone who dates women or who is looking for a romantic female partner, you are attracting this kind of partner, this badass kind of energy, this beautiful, confident, together, whole, creative kind of person, right? And that takes us right back to what? Takes us right back to that Sun card, that opposite of codependency, that being loved for who you are, loving someone else for who they are, being able to have a sense of freedom, though, in the relationship as well. So very, very beautiful energy. Let's go ahead and check out your spirit message for the week. Or not for the week, your love message, your spirit love message for the month. And those of you who are interested in which cards I'm using, I always have a link in the description of the video that will take you to which cards I used if you want to get them for yourselves. If you are like me and you have a billion zillion card decks, or you love to collect them, you can always check them out there. Okay, my darlings, so here we have, I really love this because we talked about the Sun card revealing some truth or bringing light into a situation. And the first thing that jumped out at me as I looked at this card was seeing the light shine down and just kind of shine on this person. So I feel, Leo, you may be seeing the value or the worth in a person that has been escaping you or that you haven't seen before. Spirit is trying to show you who is for you and who is not for you. This light is shining down here on this gentleman, and we see that he is this knight. He looks like a knight to me. He seems like a knight to me. I don't know. I get like a knight kind of vibe from him. And so she's like, oh, okay. And she's like, grabbing his hand like, oh, I don't know why I didn't notice you before. Or, just something like she's warming up to him in some way. And then that butterfly to me is like, the transformation, obviously. There seems to be a volcano in the distance, so I do feel whatever needs to be emptied out or whatever's been like blocking you up, there may be some repressed emotions that are coming out of the way to help you make this connection. But that's just kind of what I'm feeling and sensing and seeing here. We're going to go ahead and flip the card over and see what the message is on the back. But again, my dears, I encourage you to, take a picture of this card, like a screenshot, or pause it and just really look at it and see what's jumping out at you and what it says to you, how it speaks to you. This is a beautiful way in which you can connect with your own intuition to receive personal messages for yourself. We're going to go ahead and see what the message is on the back. And we have partnership. Work with another to reach all goals. Support must be given as needed. Loyalty must be proven. To thine own self do be true, but do include your partner too. With love, support, inspiring praise, you'll be together all your days. Keep your partner's good in view, and they will do the same for you. So again, my darling Leo, there could already be someone in your life that has good intentions for you. Do not allow the negative ego or any feeling of emptiness convince you that they are flawed in some way and that there is someone or something else better. This is the time to work together to figure out what's missing. And be honest. Be honest, Leo. Be prepared to be honest. Is something missing from the relationship? Or do you feel something missing on a soul level? And if you feel something missing on a soul level, that's not your fault. And if your partner feels something missing on a soul level, that's not your fault. It's not your partner's fault if you're missing something on a soul level. And it's not your fault if they're missing something on a soul level. Right? But the beautiful thing is that it can be fixed by being with your Zen, connecting with your Zen. And this is a time that you all can work together to figure that out, But, this could be a case of walking away from a really good thing. And it doesn't have to be that way. You might regret it later. If you drop this solid thing for this new kind of temptation, you may regret it later. You may feel like, man, I sure got duped. And I don't want that to happen for you. All right, my dear Leos. Again, watch your moon sign, rising sign, your Venus sign. Venus is great to watch for love if you haven't already. And don't forget to watch the weekly forecasts, guys. We get so caught up in love, we forget about the other parts of our life. And that's why every single week, I do a weekly forecast for everything else in your life outside of love. So check those out as well. And be sure, my dears, if you want a private reading, click on the Calendly link and you can schedule a private reading with me there. More than happy to do that. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Thank you, those of you following on social media, and I'm wishing you a fabulous September.